To promote Phineas and Ferb's 5th season, Disney launched a Phineas and Ferb themed ice cream truck on a 2-week tour across Los Angeles County and Orange County, California. A literal promotional vehicle. What ended up unfolding was one of the most bizarrely sloppy, impossibly confusing, and endlessly entertaining train wrecks I have ever witnessed, and through sheer bad luck, I was there to document everything. Announced through a series of news articles on May 28th, the truck was said to be visiting over 40 locations and serving, quote, series-inspired frozen treats, exclusive goodies, and lots of surprises along the way. Let's consider that foreshadowing, as there were indeed a lot of surprises along the way. So on May 28th, I became vaguely aware of this ice cream truck. I probably saw it on an Instagram story somewhere, but I wasn't really concerned with it because 1, I don't like driving, 2, I don't like ice cream, and 3, I'm a full-grown man with a life and had probably better things to do than follow a Phineas and Ferb ice cream truck. On May 30th, my friend Brooke asked me if I had any plans to go see the ice cream truck, and that kind of reminded me of its existence, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, sure, I might as well. I had plans to be on the road the next day on June 1st, so I figured I might as well stop and look for it. Brooke is directly responsible for wasting and ruining the next week plus of my life. Let's talk about the articles. There was no official press release by Disney about the ice cream truck. Rather, it was only announced through various local news accounts. Searching Phineas and Ferb ice cream truck would give you 7 articles about it if you clicked on news, and we'll use these as this video's selective sample. Here's what I didn't realize at this moment in time. All of these articles were different. Some of these only listed 1 stop per day. Some of them listed a lot of stops per day. Some of them had no listed times, some of them said all the stops were from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., and some of them had specific times different for each location. Let me run you through some examples. The June 7th stop at the ASO Region 55 soccer tournament was said to be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on MSN, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on KTLA and Chip & Co., while no times were listed at all on Orange County Register, Secrets Los Angeles, or Average Socialite. Patch didn't list it at all. The June 8th stop at Aquarium of the Pacific was one of 4 destinations listed on all 7 articles, but Patch and MSN said the truck would be there from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., KTLA and Chip & Co. said it would be there from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., while Orange County Register, Secrets Los Angeles, and Average Socialite didn't list a time. Chip & Co. and Average Socialite both mentioned that the Griffith Observatory would be one of the stops, despite not having it listed in their schedule. Orange County Register, KTLA, and Patch made no mention of the Griffith Observatory at all, while Secrets Los Angeles claimed the truck would be visiting the observatory on May 23rd, in an article published on May 28th. Secrets Los Angeles was the only article to list stops from May 23rd through 27th. Some locations, such as the May 31st stop at Santa Monica Pier, were only listed by 2 articles. Meanwhile, KTLA was the sole and only article to list the May 30th stop near UCLA campus. The cherry on top is that ABC News had a Facebook reel encouraging fans to find the ice cream truck at Fiesta Hermosa, which wasn't listed as a stop on any of the articles, meaning you couldn't have possibly planned to go find it. Right here, scrolling across the screen, is a comprehensive and color-coded list of every location and every time all of these articles claim the truck would be stopping. And you can see that there is not a single instance of a location with unanimous agreement about what time the truck would be there, or if the truck would be there at all. Later in the video, I'll spend a while trying to untangle this web of contradictions and get to the bottom of it. But what's important now is that I hadn't noticed any of this yet. I just looked at an article to see what times to find the ice cream truck the next day and assumed that would be correct. Now that I was actually thinking about the truck, I was getting kind of excited because it was very similar to an experience I missed out on as a kid. The Platybus Tour.
This wonderful teal vehicle here is the Platybus.
This whole thing seems like a spiritual successor to the Platybus Tour. I remember back when I was a small, ugly child, my parents refused to drive me 16 plus hours across the country to look at a bus for 5 minutes because they didn't love me. But now I can make my younger self proud by finding this ice cream truck, which is a vehicle Disney chose as a reference to Skids and Mudflap in the 2009 film Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen.
On June 1st, I had plans with my friend Chloe from my Gravity Falls Cypher Hunt video where I had Alex Hirsch held hostage and I made him fall down the stairs. I decided that morning, since I was on the road and I was in the area, I would stop at the Studio City Farmers Market, which was supposed to have the ice cream truck from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., according to multiple articles. But upon wandering around, there was no ice cream truck. It was a relatively small lot and I could not have possibly missed it. So after wandering around for a while, at about 10:30, I confusedly got back in my car and drove to Anaheim, not realizing this was just the beginning. I mentioned the ice cream truck to Chloe, and she wanted to go on an adventure to find it. And I was like, I want to go on an adventure to find it as well. Ergo, we both went on an adventure to find it. It was supposed to be at Pacific City and Huntington Beach. Pacific City is a shopping complex, not a city. They should have called it Pacific Shopping Complex. Pacific City's website also claimed that the ice cream truck would be there, but it said the times were unknown, and we should check out the Hive Market in the meantime. So we wandered through Pacific City, we wandered around Pacific City, and once again there was no ice cream truck. Chloe asked a staff member at a booth for the Hive Market, and according to this woman, the ice cream truck had not shown up yet, and people had been asking her about it all day. I looked closer at some of the articles, and this is when I realized that all of them have these conflicting times. Needing to head home, Chloe and I left Pacific City at 3:30, with the Hive Market closing at 4, which means that if the ice cream truck did show up, then the primary shopping area it was designed to cross-promote would already be closed. Oh, you guys see that island? We just discovered that for the first time.
What did we name it?
We named it Phineas and Ferb Ice Cream Truck Island.
So we can say that we found the ice cream truck. We're gonna be the first people to find the Phineas and Ferb ice cream truck.
Not even the people running it have found it yet. It's been stuck in the garage. After this confusing experience, the two of us filmed a video in my car venting our frustrations and observations that we'd made about the ice cream truck tour throughout the day.
That's the crazy thing, is it's been out for like 4 days now?
Yeah.
3 days?
Yeah, 4 days.
Zero pictures. Zero people that we've been able to find that have been like, I got Phineas and Ferb ice cream. Nothing.
And it's like the wrong fan base. If you did a Gravity Falls hunt, trillions of people.
Done. God, people would be flying in from other states.
No, literally.
They would.
But it's like Phineas and Ferb in the most densely populated area in the United States, and no one has come to see the ice cream truck. No one's cared, and it's so like, I think the reason no one's seen it is because no one can find it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: if you're putting an ice cream truck out for marketing purposes and you're trying to drive marketing, it shouldn't be hard to find, because then you failed at marketing.
And there is no official account for the ice cream truck, which is so obvious. You post where you are. So all you have is these news articles that just say apparently the times it could be there, but not that, it's made it seem like it would just be parked there from 11 to 5.
Right.
And the ice cream truck is not optimized for searching either.
It doesn't have a name.
It's just
like the
Phineas and Ferb ice cream truck.
Yeah, what was it? The
platypus.
Platypus. That's searchable.
Iconic. No one else is going to be posting about something called the platypus.
No.
You don't have a unique name for it, so you just search Phineas and Ferb ice cream truck and you get hundreds of other posts either about ice cream trucks or about Phineas and Ferb. It's so mismanaged.
And there's no official like Disney post about it either. Like all the posts that have been late, like all of the like times and locations are all just on like news sites. Like there's no official like Disney blog or like Disney TVA like
press release,
anything. It's just like different random news sites.
Upon getting home, I checked social media, and I found only one singular post on the entirety of Twitter mentioning the ice cream truck that wasn't one of the news articles. And it was from someone who had the exact same experience the day before, driving out to find the ice cream truck, only to find it not there. At this point, I was invested. I was hooked. I needed to know if this ice cream truck actually existed, and what circumstances could have possibly led to the Disney marketing department messing up this badly. What followed was a week-long information gathering operation across Los Angeles to get to the bottom of this mystery once and for all. Hello, I'm doing an ad read now. My favorite hobby is saying no to sponsor requests, but not even I could resist MANTA sleep. I live in sunny California with a west-facing window, which means that even despite my blackout blinds, the summer sun shines through my windows and wakes me up against my will at 7 a.m. every morning. In the past, sleep masks have always slid off my face as I moved around in my sleep. But this mask from MANTA has these bizarre cups on the inside, and when I first saw these, I was like, what the hell? But then I realized they have traction, and they cover your eyes, and this is not going anywhere. For the first time ever, I can fall asleep with a sleep mask on my face and wake up with it still here. In addition, almost every night mask I've ever had is black, which has made it disappear into my bed and be hard to find. But this one is white. It had never occurred to me there could be other colors. I never lose this one. Since all you fuckers like to tell me you listen to my videos in the background, you could put this mask on while you watch my videos, and you'll get the same fucking experience apparently. I work so hard to edit those. You know how hard, check it out. This guy from Survivor recommends them.
He couldn't climb a ladder. Brandon is so fucking funny. Like, he had his tweet about Survivor to do a first boot season, so Brandon ran to Austin from season 45 at a party. He was like, you look really familiar. Do I know you? And I was like, no, I don't think so. And I thought about it later. I was like, oh my god, has he seen my YouTube videos? Is that why I look familiar to him? That's Wendell, the winner of season 36, cheated on the mother of his child with Dee, the winner of season 45. Be sure to go to MANTA Sleep and use the code KEIAN to get 10% off your order. And then you can sleep forever and never wake up. I spent all of yesterday searching for an ice cream truck that wasn't there, but today I'm going to do it again. As a reference to the Phineas and Ferb song, we're gonna do it again. Today, it's supposed to be at the TLC Chinese Theater, which they rebuilt after the Mandarin destroyed it in Iron Man 3 in a bombing. And it's also gonna be at the El Catapan Theater and the KTLA News headquarters. All the article said was El Capitan. And if you look that up on Google Maps, if you copy and paste what it lists, that is a mountain range, many hours away. And I thought that doesn't seem right, so I just had to guess through context clues that it's the theater it's referring to on Hollywood Boulevard.
And in this footage, perhaps you'll notice what I noticed, which is that there is not an ice cream truck in it. Nothing at the Chinese Theater, nothing at El Capitan. The Chinese Theater was listed on 4 of the articles, while El Capitan was listed on 5. At this point, I was so desperate that out of the corner of my eye, I saw a sign that said Premier Souvenirs. And for a split second, I thought it said Povenmire.
Alright, Slash, let's roll! We want Weird Al!
I'm Irving. I'm your biggest fan.
From there, I walked to the KTLA Studios building, which was listed by every article except for KTLA themselves. And guess what I saw? Not an ice cream truck, but on the way there I did see the very Denny's where the Bill Cipher puzzle was worked on back in 2016, and Sunset Gower Studios, which I kid you not, is where they filmed Pair of Kings.
And I just posted my Pair of Kings video approximately 32 minutes ago.
I saw a couple clearly looking for something on the prowl, and they decided to ask a security guard for help. And I'm a nosy bitch, so I decided to linger by with an earshot and eavesdrop. And I heard them ask him, where is the Phineas and Ferb ice cream truck? And I couldn't hear his response, so after a second I was like, hey yo, what'd he say? According to this guard, he didn't really know anything about it. People had been asking all day, and the venue really didn't communicate with them. He said it was there early in the morning, but it had already left. So me and this couple briefly walked and laughed about the absurdity of this situation. The guy said, if you say you're gonna be here all day, you should be here all day. And that tells me he was probably looking at the Chip & Co. article, which claimed the ice cream truck would be parked from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at KTLA Studios. Meanwhile, MSN and Patch had said the ice cream truck would be at KTLA from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And was this potentially pointing to those two being the accurate lists? That would be assuming the ice cream truck was there from 10 to 11. We don't know what time specifically it was there, it's just that it was there in the morning, according to the security guard. So now I was wondering, are there not multiple trucks? I'd assumed initially there were. But if it's this hard to find, is there just one truck, like driving between all these stops, getting stuck in traffic or something? That seemed too dumb to be true.
Is there only one truck actually driving?
There must be only one. Was it stuck in traffic?
I don't know.
Was it in like LA County this morning and then it went to drive down and it got stuck on like the 5?
Did all the ice cream melt between locations?
I remember there was this old promotional video for Jurassic World where a prop master had said, if you have one, you have none.
If you have one, you have none.
And I remember that 10 years later because it rhymed. And I think that saying mostly applies to the props industry, but maybe it should apply to the promotional ice cream truck industry too. The 3rd was a big day for the ice cream truck tour, with 5 locations listed across the 7 articles, with the only consensus being that the truck would be at Elysian Park, although there were multiple conflicted reported times. I hit the road pretty early, first hitting the Sherman Oaks Farmers Market, which the ice cream truck was said to be at between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. Guess what? The farmers market wasn't open yet. This farmers market's hours are 2 to 6.
It doesn't exist. It's not open until 4, when all of the news articles said that the ice cream truck would be here now at the farmers market. The farmer market that's not here for 4 more hours.
I hung around from 10 to 11 just to see if the ice cream truck would confusedly wander in. It did not. I swung back to this farmers market later in the day. No ice cream truck. Next, I headed to the LA Natural History Museum and the California Science Center, which are right next to each other on a shared 160-acre lot called Exposition Park. And it was kind of absurd that there was no specific address posted for this. This is a massive plot of land. I wandered around the perimeter for 25 minutes, not even knowing where the ice cream truck would be. As you may have guessed by now, there was nary an ice cream truck in my periphery. Next, I headed over to the East LA Library, and here is where things get pretty interesting. I walked around the library, I didn't see anything, so I decided to enter the building just in the off chance that the ice cream truck had crashed through the wall and was inside. It was not. So I went and asked a librarian behind the counter, "Hey, where's the Phineas and Ferb ice cream truck?" And I could see it in her eyes. I was not the first person who asked. As soon as I drove into East LA, it became stormy and miserable. There's a thunderstorm right now. It's very funny. So I asked the lady at the front desk, I said, "Any sign of this?" And she said, originally, they had just called to say, "Hey, we're hosting our ice cream truck here." There was no partnership between the library and the ice cream truck. She said that this morning, they were called and they were informed that the library was taken off of the ice cream truck's route. However, if you go to all of the news articles, it's still there. So the ice cream truck tour called the library, said, "Hey, sorry, we're not gonna be there." But they didn't update any of the information posts online. At this point, I am a journalist. There's so much incompetence on display, and I need to get to the bottom of it. I didn't get to see the platypus when I was a small, ugly child. And now as a small, ugly adult, this is my last chance to be happy. Also at this library, I saw the single worst sign of my entire life. Finally, for that day, there was Elysian Park, and a handful of the articles further specified this was right by the entrance of Dodger Stadium. All 7 articles were in agreement that the truck would be there. The question was when, because MSN and Patch said 10 to 11 a.m., while Chip and Co. and KTLA said 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. If it were the former, then that would mean I've already missed it. At this point, the ice cream truck was like a cryptid. I found it more likely that I would stumble upon the Jersey Devil in Elysian Park than the ice cream truck. After 9 disappointing stops, it was about 1:50 p.m., I was pulling into Elysian Park and realizing I may have just wasted 3 days of my life driving in Los Angeles, which is the most miserable thing you can possibly do in Los Angeles. But there, as I rounded the bend, to my shock and awe, was the Phineas and Ferb ice cream truck, parked on the side of the road exactly where it said it would be. And it popped the hell off in my family group chat. I trepidatiously walked up to the truck and I saw the driver of the truck sitting on his phone, and he seemed startled to see me, and he said that they would be opening in 5 minutes at 2 p.m. This means that KTLA and Chip and Co. were correct, and that the ice cream truck opened at 2 p.m. at this location. MSN and Patch were wrong despite seemingly being correct yesterday. 2 cars pulled up alongside it, and out came 2 more staff members. Both of them were very, very eager to tell every single passerby that there was a brand new season of Phineas and Ferb coming to Disney Channel and Disney XD on June 5th, and the next day on Disney Plus on June 6th. They said that sentence a lot. I also saw a gopher sticking out of a hole, and that was arguably more exciting than the ice cream truck. Do you guys want to see the series-inspired and exclusive goodies that were promised in all 7 articles? They had 2 options. The ice cream was free. I thought the thing said the ice cream would be Phineas and Ferb themed, but it was just an ice cream bar and a completely regular icy. They had 3 colors: blue, red, and green. It's insane to me that they weren't even handing out like ice cream cones from the ice cream truck. Maybe I shouldn't complain because it was all free, but also maybe I should complain because I was promised treats inspired by the series, not bulk ices from Walmart's frozen section. They gave out each treat with a Phineas and Ferb branded napkin. Very exciting. There was about 6 or so nerds gathered outside of the truck. 2 looked like teenage girls with their mom, and then there was like an adult woman cosplaying as Candace. There was a cardboard cutout of Harry the Platypus that was unfortunately violently bisected. The people on the ice cream truck were taking all kinds of videos. The lady's like, "Do you guys want to help us surprise Disney?" And then they had us line up outside the ice cream truck and took a video, and then had us line up again outside the window where you get the ice cream to take a video. So I'm probably going to end up on some sort of social media site. I don't know which one though, because the ice cream truck doesn't have a social media. I asked the driver if there were multiple ice cream trucks, and he seemed not to know. He said something like, "There might be, I'm not sure." However, the other staff member man, the bearded one, was pretty confident that there were. He said, yes, there are multiple trucks. But I wanted to know for sure. And apparently 10 minutes after I left, famous YouTuber Nintendo showed up to this very same ice cream truck. I was like an invention, disappearing right before Mom could see it. Mom in this analogy is Nintendo, the famous YouTuber. Only 3 articles listed a June 4th visit to Walt Disney Studios lot, with MSN claiming it would be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Chip & Co. claiming it would be from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., and Average Socialite claiming it would be from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. I, unfortunately, missed this one. I thought June 4th was a day off because I looked at multiple articles, none of them listed this, and I was naive enough to think I wouldn't need to check all 7. So I didn't know this was happening. Fumble, I have no clue which time was correct. Maybe none of them. Okay, June 5th. This was a big day for the ice cream truck tour. Specifically, for me following the ice cream truck tour.
Hello, it's editing Kian here.
I keep calling this the ice cream truck tour. That's not its official name, but the thing is that this event didn't even have a name. So that's naturally come into my head, inspired by Platypus Tour. I'd say the official name is probably Unnamed Phineas and Ferb inspired ice cream truck event. The stops were the Pinsk Media Building, the La Brea Tar Pits, and Museum Row. Well, that's how it was listed by some articles, and that made it very confusing because Museum Row doesn't pull any results when you search for it. And after not finding it on Google Maps, I realized that the La Brea Tar Pits are part of Museum Row. So it's actually just 2 locations. Pensk was mentioned by every article except for Patch, with conflicting times across the articles, while the tar pits were mentioned at all 7, once again with multiple conflicting times. I happened to pull up the KTLA listing that morning and abided by its times, arriving at the Pinsk Media Corp building to find the ice cream truck parked illegally for multiple hours in a passenger loading zone with a 5-minute limit. It was also here that a photographer for Variety took a photo, also clearly showcasing this non-moving violation. The truck had the same license plate, meaning it was the same vehicle I saw earlier, but there was a different crew of 3 operating at this time, with a different woman telling every single passerby that there was a new season of Phineas and Ferb available on Disney Channel and Disney XD on June 5th and the next day on June 6th on Disney+. They had this same option between 3 flavors of ices and an ice cream sandwich.
Okay, I'm here at Pensk Media Corp. I caught the ice cream truck. I asked them about East LA. I brought it up. I was like, hey, I was at the East LA library. I missed you. And they said there were several locations that got canceled and swapped out with private events. They said they just kept getting called last minute and being told, nope, you're not going here, you're going this place. Curious.
The gears in my head started spinning. The one time per year that I think. There was a 30-minute gap in the truck's schedule between Pinsk and the tar pits. It was also about a 30-minute drive between Pinsk and the tar pits. And it dawned on me, is this 30-minute gap for the ice cream truck to drive from Pinsk to the La Brea tar pits? There was only one way to find out. I put coins in a meter and grabbed a parking space behind the truck. The 2 non-drivers walked over to their cars right at 2 o'clock, and moments later, the ice cream truck rolled out, and then the chase was on.
So I'm gonna try to follow this ice cream truck like a storm chaser to the next location. It's on the move. It's on the move. No, red light, fuck! It's ahead of us. I can see it through this truck's windshields. Yes! At this point, all we have to do is follow the truck. Holy shit! Do we have a solid green? Oh fuck. Look at that ice cream truck. They're stuck in the middle.
Earlier that morning, Jack and Core of Spilling the Milk invited me to watch Transformers Revenge of the Fallen with them as part of a collab. And because of that, I had a 90-minute recording on my iPhone, which caused it to run out of storage right then and there, at the worst possible time. This is what happened right after it stopped recording. The ice cream truck was stuck there, blocking an entire direction of traffic for about 20 seconds. And the car right in front of it, either this one or this one, blared on their horn. Just a very long, pronounced honk! And it's the kind of honk that's not actually designed to accomplish anything other than make the driver feel bad about themselves. So the ice cream truck was eventually able to get the clearance and move out of the way. I had to wait a minute for the light to turn green before I could catch up with them. And on my way out, there was a very, very narrow window and I was not able to get to the freeway exit. I said, no, I missed the ice cream truck. So I had to loop around through some back roads. And so as I'm driving up, I see the ice cream truck come out of the exact same back roads I'm about to go in, which means it missed the exit as well. I'm going to be upset for the rest of my life that I didn't get this on video, and it's all Jack and Core's fault for being nice to me and inviting me to watch a movie with them.
They just dropped him on the ground.
I eventually got on the freeway, but I was stuck about 2 minutes behind the ice cream truck. I could see it in the distance. Unfortunately, because the ice cream truck turned left at this traffic light when there was clearly not room for it to do so, I missed it because I was a law-abiding citizen. But if this ice cream truck had stayed here and not clogged the intersection, I would have been able to successfully tail it. Nonetheless, I pulled into the La Brea tar pits at about 2:38. The ice cream truck was sitting there. It had clearly just opened. According to my mathematical calculations, it could not have arrived there any earlier than 2:34, which means it was 4 minutes late. As I pulled into the parking lot to regroup for a second, the lady was telling the attendant at the window, "Hey, we have frozen treats to celebrate the new Phineas and Ferb season coming to Disney Channel and Disney XD June 5th, Disney Plus the next day on June 6th. I felt like I'd done all I needed to do this day, and I went home. On June 6th, I was so fucking tired, dude. I was EP pilled all the way. So I just laid down and I did nothing. Sorry, guys. On June 7th, my ice cream truck window was limited as I had plans at 4 o'clock. Jobby the Hong and Kellen Goff invited me to watch Transformers Age of Extinction with them as a collab. If I had a nickel for every time I watched a Transformers film as part of a collab that week, I'd have 2 nickels. I set off early and I hung out around the North Hollywood Farmers Market from 10 to 11, where, much like the previous 2 farmers markets I visited, no ice cream truck showed up. From there, I was planning to go to Santa Monica next, but I was like, first, let me just swing by a car wash for a second. And by sheer bad luck, I routed to the worst possible car wash. They had me pull in, and I was like, that's weird, they're having me park. And they were like, you can go pay inside. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm paying inside. And I paid. And then I realized I was supposed to hand the keys over and just wait for 45 minutes while they washed my car by hand. I had to sit in the sun and watch them scrub my car with a washcloth. Because of this kerfuffle, there was not time to go to any of the other 2 stops. I just had to hightail it to Jobby's place. I'm going to be upset for the rest of my life that I didn't get to see the ice cream truck on June 7th, and it's all Kellen Goff and Jobby the Hong's fault for being nice to me and inviting me to watch a movie with them.
That guy's in Good Luck Charlie. That's Teddy's friend from season 3 and 4.
It's the same character, too.
Yeah.
After this, I drove down to Long Beach and booked a hotel in anticipation of June 8th, the final day of the ice cream truck tour. I found a restaurant called Norm's, which is a reference to the Phineas and Ferb character Norm, who can be seen in the new Phineas and Ferb season available on Disney Channel and Disney XD June 5th and Disney Plus the next day on June 6th. Long Beach, known primarily for its role in the Chappell Roan song Casual, is a coastal community that actually has a long history of its own outside of the song. I lingered at the Long Beach Farmers Market from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. I did not find an ice cream truck, but I did find boat owner only restrooms.
They're literally inventing new discrimination just for fun.
4 articles simply said Westwood area. Westwood is a neighborhood. It was legitimately just saying that the ice cream truck would be somewhere in this 3.5 square mile radius with no further specifics, and thus I didn't bother looking for it. 3 articles also mentioned ASO Sun and Surf in Huntington Beach, which I could not find an address for at all. I found the website. This is a children's surfing competition, but it straight up doesn't post any address besides a P.O. box. And I highly doubt the surfing competition was held indoors at a post office. And so the only conclusion I can come to is that the surfing tournament was a private event and you could only get the address if you or your child was enrolled. And if that's the case, then why was it a publicly posted spot on the ice cream truck tour? There was no ice cream truck at the Rose Bowl Flea Market, which was massive, by the way. That's not what I would expect for something named after a flea. I went to the Shoreline Village and I lingered for several hours. There was no ice cream truck. But only a 10-minute walk away was the Aquarium of the Pacific, and there was the ice cream truck with the B team once again operating it. I got there at 10:02 and they had just started serving customers, meaning KTLA and Chip & Co.'s times were correct, while Patch and MSN's times were wrong. This time they were only offering ice cream sandwiches. I guess they had run out of ices. They also didn't have any more Phineas and Ferb branded napkins. They just had generic regular napkins, which were very cheap in nature. Cheaper than your average napkin, I feel.
1 ply?
With permission, I was able to capture what is likely the only existing aerial photography of the Phineas and Ferb ice cream truck. It had the same B team operating it, but the exception of one woman who I don't think I had seen there before. This was my last chance to gather intel, and so I asked the lady, and I said, what happens to the ice cream truck tomorrow? Does it just get repainted to be a normal ice cream truck? And she pointed me towards the driver, who was in the back of the truck. He was apparently the owner of the ice cream truck, I'm told. And I believe his exact words were, tomorrow I'll be taking all this shit down. And he said it very jovially with a smile on his face, but it was just not the vocabulary I expected. With that, I said thank you, and I waddled away. On the walk, I considered turning around and being like, hey, does Disney need you to give the Perry back, or could I have it? But I didn't ultimately end up doing that because that would be stupid. They would not fucking give it to me, so I never tried. In conclusion, having spent about 40 collective hours driving around Los Angeles and following an ice cream truck, I think I noticed a broad pattern with the articles, and I may understand what happened. On June 28th, Disney reached out to multiple publications with this initial long list of locations. And given how many articles said the times would be 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., I assume this information was probably given out as well. Carolyn Burt, who wrote the article for Orange County Register, tweeted on May 30th that she, quote, just heard back about the times and updated the article with the info. Thanks to a Wayback Machine archive, you can see that prior to her update, it looked like this, and after her update, it looked like this. God bless whoever Wayback Machined the Phineas and Ferb ice cream truck article. Every article with the condensed list showing one stop per day says updated May 30th in the top left corner. Every article with the incredibly long list does not say updated. I think Disney sent out this informational packet to all of the publications on May 28th. Then on May 30th, 2 days later, they required them to update it with a more accurate spread. But not all of the publications made the update, or maybe some of these sites weren't affiliated with Disney, copied and pasted the info from other articles, and then didn't get the memo when these original articles changed. That would explain to me why the woman at the East LA library told me the articles should have been updated. KTLA, Orange County Register, and Chip & Co. updated their articles, but not MSN, Patch, Average Socialite, or Secrets Los Angeles. That does raise questions, though. How's it possible that within the span of 48 hours, a list of over 40 locations got boiled down to a list of 9 locations? Why were all of the locations not informed? Pacific City had the ice cream truck's visit up on their website all day, only for it to not come. Every article claimed the ice cream truck would show up at KTLA's building except for KTLA themselves, while Chip & Co., which supposedly had the updated times, still got it wrong, while MSN and Patch, which had the outdated times, seemed to have gotten it right. Why did Chip & Co.'s updated list have different spots than KTLA's updated list? I also want to circle back to Secrets Los Angeles posting dates starting from the 23rd at the Griffith Observatory, in their post from May 28th, which was never updated. Keep in mind, there was absolutely no coverage of this ice cream truck anywhere on the entire internet until June 28th. These dates, starting on the 23rd, seem like they'd be incredibly specific and bizarre things for the publication to have made up. Chip & Co. and Average Socialite stated that the truck would be making a stop at the Griffith Observatory despite not having that location listed. Is it possible that the ice cream truck tour did start on May 23rd, but Disney's media department didn't start reaching out to any publications until 5 days into the tour on May 28th? Thus, the other sources opted to leave out the 23rd through 27th on their article since those days had already passed, whereas Secrets Los Angeles just kept it up anyway. Disney's informational packet probably listed a stop at the observatory up in its log line. Then Average Socialite and Chip & Co. didn't really think about it and didn't remove it from the top of their article, despite it not being listed as a stop in the articles they published. All of the guys who were riding along with the truck, they were great. Energetic, friendly, their job was to tell every passerby that there was a brand new season of Phineas and Ferb coming to Disney Channel and Disney XD on June 5th, and then Disney Plus on June 6th the next day. And by golly, heavens to Betsy, they did their job well. None of this blame falls on those guys. The impression I get is that there was absolutely incompetent middle management, constantly changing the schedule, waiting until almost a week into the tour to send out the list of information to any of the news outlets, and then changing that list of information 2 days after sending it out. So I filtered out the noise of several influencers who all had the exact same language in their captions telling you about the brand new season you can watch on Disney+. Disney probably paid them $3 in a sticker sheet to promote the season. Once you get rid of them, across the entirety of Twitter and Instagram, I was only able to find 3 posts from what seemed like regular people excited that they saw the ice cream truck. In this entire 2-week stretch, spanning from May 23rd to June 8th, 2025. One of Chloe's friends spotted the truck in Santa Monica on May 30th. We know that happened. There's no other proof of it showing up anywhere. There is absolutely no photographic evidence that the truck did go to any of the spots from May 23rd to May 27th that Secrets Los Angeles listed. Maybe the first 5 days of this hunt fell through and they weren't able to start until the 28th. After looking at every single piece of footage taken by myself, Nick Tendo, Chloe's friend, random strangers all across the internet, and promotional outlets, I have only ever seen 1 license plate, which means if there was a second truck, it was never photographed by anyone in the entire world. Given the unlikelihood of this, my genuine assumption is that there was only 1 ice cream truck, and thus it couldn't have gone to all of these locations simultaneously. Because if there were 2, then how on earth did no one anywhere find it? I think it's impressive and pretty funny that Alex Hirsch single-handedly threw a better organized international scavenger hunt with nothing but pocket change than the entire Disney Channel marketing department could throw localized to 2 counties within 1 state. Granted, Alex was accidentally sending children into bear-infested private property in the middle of the night, so there were pros and cons. Watch my video. At the end of the day, this was a very entertaining adventure, but nonetheless, Brooke should be ashamed of herself for causing me to waste 2 weeks of my life, and I hope she never talks to me again. I'm also going to keep all of the ice cream sandwiches and the icy cryogenically frozen for all time as a reference to Walt Disney, who always loved Phineas and Ferb. Hundreds, maybe even tens of Los Angelites were promised the following: series-inspired frozen treats, exclusive goodies, and all kinds of surprises. They were given a completely, or at least largely false list of locations and contradictory times, most of which it seems the ice cream truck never wound up visiting. I was one of these many victims, and I'm going to list my demands. I would like $23 to cover my gas. I want Perry the Platypus to be given his legs back. Third, I would like an ice cream cone personally hand-delivered to me by Dan Povenmire and Jeff Swampy Marsh, with both of their hands holding the cone together, because I think it'd be very cute. And I know they had nothing to do with this. I just think it's a pretty funny demand.
The ice cream man will park his truck in front of my building. I know because I was standing there yesterday when he ran over my foot.